so let's try this on round two, right? I did this before, and legitimately, like out of a 20-minute video, my OBS done recorded like 6 motherfucking minutes. So like that was not positive as a whole, right? So let's see if this gets any better, right? Because like legitimately, I don't know if it will. So basically, I have this video here. It's a new Curtis Yarvin joint, and he's breaking down some Machiavellian principles that I think everyone should probably understand, but like if you don't, it's okay, right? So we're gonna sit here and we're gonna check this out. We're gonna break it down. You know how to do it. We gotta break it down, son. Right? You know what I mean? That's what we're gonna do at the moment. And at the end of it, you know what I mean? Like maybe you'll have a little better understanding of me, and you know what I mean? Maybe I'll have a better understanding of you. Like maybe we'll all sit around like a campfire and sing Kumbaya and shit and make s'mores. You know what I mean? Maybe some of these hippie bitches will take their drawers off and run around butthole naked with their motherfucking, you know what I mean, their vaginas covered in hair. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Right? But either way it goes, you know what I mean? Like, yo, we're going to rock and roll. Let's get to it.
Some of you are not yet clear-pilled. Never apply power. Only build power. Narrated by Skeptical Waves. Published Wednesday, December 8, 2021 by Curtis Yarvin. I always get a lot of flack when I COVID post. This time is no exception. In general, your attitude toward this COVID shitshow predicts a certain kind of political sophistication and detachment, which you can call whatever you like. If you have it, you are going to make it. If not, well, it is my job, isn't it? To help you try to make it? Some smart readers ask, sure, in the abstract, a sovereign regime has the abstract sovereign right to emergency biopower, up to and including welding its subjects in their condos to cope with some kind of airborne smallpox leprosy. But this regime, these measures, and this virus? The answer is that right is always abstract. Sovereignty's rights are always unlimited. This by no means makes all its uses of power right and proper. Especially in the case of our own dear regime.
Now, all right, here's the mentality and the principle that I think is important that we all understand, right? The mentality is that sovereign power, right? Like the government, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the government, okay? Any government, doesn't matter what it is. All governments have as much power as they're able to push out, right? Like, so basically, you know what I mean? Like if they have the bodies to be able to throw at the population and, you know what I mean? Like do what they want, they're going to do that. And they have the ability to do so. It doesn't mean that it's right. Okay. There's a difference between being right and being able and capable of doing things. Right. And to stand here and think that people will act in a just and conscious and positive way all the time is kind of naive, right? And this principle of what he's saying is very, very true, right? Because like legitimately throughout time, you've had conscriptions, you've had, you know what I'm saying, drafts, you've had, you know what I mean, like even up to today, like we still have like, you know, like the government can put you to death, right? For going outside and breaking their laws. And to stop you from breaking their laws and, you know what I mean, like justifying their power, they can sit here and, you know, just basically, you know, fucking execute you. And they don't care. And if you don't, like, yo, they can grab you and kidnap you and throw you in a cage. And they have that power. And most individuals will agree that it's right that they have that power. Because, like, individuals don't want to do this themselves. Right? Like me and TK Mao were having a conversation about Sargon of Akkad. And Sargon of Akkad said he wanted to stand here and have a right-wing Marxist look at whatever the fuck this capitalist structure that we have today is. And I immediately went, oh, so you're talking about Hitler. I'm like, yo, why didn't you have a conversation with this guy, Curtis Yarvin? Because, like, I do believe that, like, legitimately, this is what he's looking for. This is the answer that he's looking for. But anyway, yo, look, man, let's keep rocking this shit.
Which is really a beaut. When power is doing the wrong thing. We cannot say the regime is acting rightfully, because rightful emergency measures require a genuine emergency, and the measures must be genuinely effective. There is not a clear case for the efficacy of Western non-pharmaceutical interventions, and those currently driving them seem curiously uninterested in basic measures, such as better masks and more, cheaper rapid tests, that would make them work much better, but do not invoke the tense, avenging joy of collective coercion. And while COVID is sort of an emergency is an emergency if handling it as an emergency works much better than business as usual, which isn't completely clear here, either. So? That's okay. Honestly, it's not a great regime. It does weird stuff for weird reasons. Right? But we knew that, didn't we? When power is doing the wrong thing for some dumb reason, I hope it's not too hokey to quote Bruce Lee, be water. The wrongfulness of power's thing makes it rightful to resist.
Right, I mean, like, yo, like, legitimately, like, yo, Bruce Lee stands here and he said, look, be water, my friend, right? Because water, when you try to put water in a cup, it fill cup, right? When you take water and you put water into, and you pull water out, it just slides through your fingers. You can't catch it, right? He said, water will recede, water will crash, it will make waves, it can drown you, right? And that's an important principle, right? Like, yo, when motherfuckers is doing bad shit, when people are standing here, fucking up, don't stop them. You'll just let them do what they're going to do, right? Because, like, yo, your best bet is to sit here and, like, watch somebody do something dumb and then, like, yo, sit there and go, like, you notice how dumb they are? Why are you listening to them? Why are you following them? Why are you supporting them, right? When somebody's fucking up, don't stop them. It's important. Right? Because I hear recently Breaking Points had a thing, right, where they sat here and broke down that, like, out in California and Texas, like, basically the Democrats have lost the motherfucking Latino vote, right, of male Latino vote, not the female, right? Because, like, the Democrat Party is the party of women, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter, like, what color fucking creed woman is, right? This is literally, like, what this is right now. This is males versus females. Like, this is basically where our politics are, right? These are non-college educated males versus, like college educated males and, like non-college educated females. Like, that's what the fuck this is. Legitimately. But anyway, let's keep rocking this shit.
But, is it prudent to resist? Is it necessary to resist? Almost always no. Your action must not be reactive. Water does not push back. Water lets the enemy expend energy, expending no energy against him. Water does not forget that the enemy is an enemy, nor ever lose sight of its lovely dream of filling his throat. When you are not following Bruce Lee's wisdom, you always think you are fighting back. Usually, what you are doing is participating, giving your energy to the enemy. Power in opposition. The only practical
Yo, look, and you gotta say this about this too, right? Like, so, like, when them January 6th individuals, went in there and did that dumb shit, like, they had no plan for January 7th, right? That's the reality of things. And that's the problem, right? And that's really what we're facing right now, is the fact that, like, these people who we're fighting against, right, as a whole, these individuals who, like, you're on the other side of the aisle, the other side of the political paradigm that we're at right now, these people want to rule, right? They want to make the rules. You don't. You just want to stay home and be left alone. And that's why they win, right? Because, like, if you're not willing to rule, if you're not willing to make the rules, if you're not willing to go, fuck you, you're going to live how I live, you're going to do what I say, then you're not going to win. That's the premise. And that's kind of where this is at. You know what I mean? Like, yo, if you're just going to go and, like, resist some, like, bullshit ass thing and, like, do a battle, all you're doing is coalescing their forces, right? Like, you're giving them a boogeyman to fight against. Stop doing that, right? Stop going to these stupid fucking marches, right? Legitimately, just stop it. Because, like, all they're doing is pointing, going, look at all those white supremacists with their guns and their fucking flags and their pickup trucks, right? Like, yo, that's not where it's at in the end of the day. Man, listen, I have no idea what the fuck just happened with that shit, right? But that's the reality of things. That's really where it is in the end of the day. Like, 100%. Because that's what you're being used for. They're trolling you. And then they're going, yo, look at the boogeyman right here. Just reality, son.
Reasons to study political science are to study A. How to apply power against the current regime. B. How the next regime should apply its power. The answer to A is very simple. Never apply power. Only build power. In the end, it is quite likely that you will not even need to fight, you will win almost automatically. And once you have enough power to fight, you'll definitely know it. This is not an absolute rule. There are no absolute rules in the art of war, which like it or not includes the art of politics. It is not impossible for collective action from a dissident position to be effective.
Yo, von Clausewitz, man. Von fucking Clausewitz. Von Clausewitz literally said, yo, look, war is a continuation of politics by another means. Very basic ass premise, dude. You know what I mean? Like, yo, politics is part of war. War is part of politics. 100%. Understand something. Like, you fucking people, you know what I mean? Like, yo, legitimately, all you have to do is sit on the sidelines and point out that they're fucking dumb. Right? You just keep going, look at these morons. And you do it to other individuals. You support Black Lives Matter. You go, yo, look, yeah, man, like, yo, how about this? How about, like, yo, black men's lives matter? I thought they were the ones getting shot by police. Right? Ain't that where we were? Like, legitimately, ain't that where we were? Like, black men were getting shot by the cops. So we have Black Lives Matter. With you. Should be black men's lives matter. Right? And I would fully support that and go, hey, look, you know why you're having such a hard time at the second? Yo, it's because of the fact that, like, these assholes sold your jobs overseas to different countries and fucked you over. And you point that out and they go, oh, and then they gave your women money and kicked you out in the fucking street and then called you super predators and, you know what I'm saying, sat there and locked you the fuck up. None of this was us. All of us are on the same level as you are. But, like, yo, we sent our sons and daughters to college, right? You know what I mean? So they can get these better jobs, and now they're massively in debt. The Democrats have done all of this shit. All of it. Every ounce of it is their fault. It's them. Like, yo, we just want to leave you alone so that you can have your family, right? And have your life and have your job. That's the mentality. And if you spit shit like this to motherfuckers who are hurting, like, yo, you can win. But if you continue to stand here and play this stupid fucking culture war game with these fucking morons, all you're going to do, right, legitimately, is sit here and have bullshit masturbatory motherfucking wins. It's just all going to be cathartic for you. In the end of the day, let's keep rocking though.
But any collective action is a military action and must be judged on a military basis. The standards for the prudence of a military action have never changed. A prudent action must be expected to increase your strength relative to the enemy's strength. The war is won when the enemy has no strength, no power to resist. We can imagine collective action aimed at a goal, offensive or defensive, that meets this very high standard. Suppose the goal is stopping a new regime measure that will open the borders and give ruling party memberships and voting rights to everyone who comes in, thus stuffing the ballot box with human beings. The defensive power value of this goal is very high, since failing to achieve it will politically disempower the native population for all time eternal. Most actions are not like this. If the goal of the defensive action is preventing some abuse of power, assuming there is actually a collective action against this abuse that would be effective, we still need to ask whether the abuse of power is making the regime more powerful. If not, by opposing the abuse, we are only dissipating our power. Using energy against power, even successfully, does not create more energy. It just uses up energy.
Yo, 100%. Right? 100%. This is what I've been saying. Like, yo, look. Stop giving them a boogeyman. Right? Yo, stop giving them something to aim at. Right? Quit kicking the fucking hornet's nest. Like, yo, this is not that hard to do. Right? Yo, legit. You don't have to oppose them. Critique from the outside. Be a real dissident. Right? Yo, legitimately, just be on the outside and go, yo, look, these fucking guys are morons. Right? And you don't have to resist. Like, yo, you find workarounds. And the more you find workarounds, the more of us find workarounds and shit, the better it's going to get for all of us. That's just reality about shit. Like, yo, the more of us stand here and try to find ways around, like, that's how cryptocurrency was created, right? Why? Because it's a workaround for the system because we know the system's fucked, right? So like, we built wealth ourselves. It's a basic ass premise, right? What did the Italians do when they came here? They started the fucking mob. And when they started the mob, what did they do? They stood here and said, hey, look, none of us have fucking jobs. None of us are able to get fucking places to rent. They found workarounds. They didn't go, oh man, you know what we need to do? We need to fucking stay here and fight against the whole system. No, dumb. Fuck that. We'll do it ourselves, right? You just move. It's a simple ass thing. It's a basic ass premise and shit. Like, we can stand here and be better off if we find workarounds. You build a separate system altogether, right? You change the way your community operates. You change the way you live, right? Because fighting against these morons is literally just going to make shit fucking worse. And, they're just going to crack down more and you end up in a worse position. That's that simple, right? Legitimately. Let's keep rocking, though.
The main effect of Brexit was to dissipate the political energy that created Brexit. No power was created either by the symbolic victory or the tangible results. The worst kind of goals to use power on is entirely symbolic goals. Then, victory is nothing but dissipation, the emptiness of a masturbatory orgasm. When the goal is substantive and good, better, but this does not validate the goal as a target. Only if the goal can be plausibly achieved, and if achieving it improves the balance of power, do we have a prudent political target. Most abuses of power make bad targets, for the simple reason that most abuses of power tend to discredit the regime. Therefore, ending them, even if it can be done, is actually naive and un-Machiavellian, a luxury no rebel can afford. As Napoleon said, never interrupt the enemy when he's in the process of destroying himself.
Never interrupt the enemy when he's in the process of fucking himself up, right? Like, when someone throws a haymaker at you, you don't throw a haymaker back at them. That's fucking dumb, right? What you do is, right, and you don't even try to defend it. Like, you just move, right? And then let that motherfucker swing and then push him on the other side so he falls down, right? Like, that's how you win. Let their dumbass momentum fucking carry them into fucking certain defeat. Stop fighting against them, like, legitimately, right? Because, like, if you try to block a haymaker, all you're gonna do is, like, hurt your arm and possibly get punched in the fucking head, right? When somebody throws a haymaker, you move out of the fucking way. Let's keep going, man.
The proper message to the people on how to handle an abuse of power is as follows. This abuse of power is characteristic of this regime, which will never change. If you don't like this kind of abuse, you need to figure out how to help change the regime. Which will not happen soon in any case, so do figure out how to endure the abuse.
Again, you know what I'm saying? Legitimately, this is how you win. Like, you go, look, you see what the fuck they're doing to y'all? You're doing the same thing to us poor people. Like, it's a class thing. Like, they're fucking with all of the working class. They hate us. All right? Legitimately. Understand something. You are not alone. Like, you are not alone in this bullshit. Believe me. Right? And, you stand here and go, you want this shit to change? Stop voting for these fuckheads. Right? And, like, let's both help each other try to get through. That's what we do here. It's a simple thing. It's not that fucking difficult to do. Legitimately. We all just get each other through. Right? And when you do that, like, you end up with a much more cohesive community where literally every time they try to come in with some bullshit, you all stand up and go, fuck off. It's that simple of a fucking premise.
Moreover, these kinds of goals are terribly distracting when we are sitting back in our armchairs and solving problem B, what the ideal regime of the future should do about a problem like COVID. You might not think solving this problem would help get us to the ideal regime of the future, but you would be wrong about that, too. Nothing can happen until it becomes plausible, and making it plausible is the job of the intellectual. Plus, it sucks to be in power and have no plan to use it. History has seen more of this than one might think. It is safest to assume that when you are out of power, your goal is to build power, not use power. True, there are real opportunities for dissident collective action. But your monkey mind wants to see these opportunities so badly that not 100th of them are real, as judged by basic, inescapable military logic. In LA? There's an informal meetup in Plummer Park, Sunday, December 12th, 12 noon. Be there or be square. Also, here is some off-blog content, an interview, with a mysterious British professor, about my old guru Thomas Carlyle.
Yeah, it's him, an academic agent. But anyway, right? Yo, look. Basic premise is this. Stop fighting against the motherfucking bullshit. Your best bet, legitimately, all right, is to stand here and point out how they're fucking retarded. And then sit here and help other people, right, who are going through bullshit. Because you're not going to win fucking battles. And it's better off if you don't you don't become a nail that's sticking out, right? You don't want to be the squeaky wheel because you're the one who's going to get the grease. You need to build power. That's the important part, is building power. If you're not building power, I don't know what to tell you, right? Like, it just is what it is. Like, if all you're doing is sitting there motherfucking offering catharsis to individuals and telling them, like, da-da-da, whatever, you're not going to win. Like, real shit, you're not going to win. Like, yo, you have to build shit up. You have to build people up around you. You have to make motherfuckers better, right? And you have to be willing to sit here and, you know what I mean, like, go, them guys are fucking retarded. Let's fucking stand here and do something else. All together. Let's find a workaround. The best option we have. Yo, look, Tom P's of Pnoid News. Y'all know what it is. Like, share, and subscribe, motherfuckers. Peace.